On the far edge of the galaxy, Earth's last human sanctuary floated silently in the cold void. The moon, once lifeless and barren, had become the final home for the remnants of humanity. Its tall, silver towers reflected the distant starlight, and the humming of energy fields filled the air. Inside the sanctuary, life continued almost normally. Children ran in corridors, scientists worked in labs, and guards patrolled the outer walls. But behind this calm, tension simmered like a storm waiting to break. Commander Elias Kor walked along the observation deck, staring at the blackness outside. His eyes scanned the horizon where the stars met the void. How long until they arrive? He muttered to himself. The Council had detected unusual signals days ago, strange movements of alien fleets in nearby systems. They were far from home, but the aliens had sharp eyes, and they were coming for humanity inside the central hub. Dr. Leela Moran adjusted the holographic map projected above the table. Tiny dots moved along lines of light, representing alien fleets. "It's not just one fleet," she said quietly. "There are at least 3 squadrons. They're faster than we expected." Elias frowned. "And they know about this place?" Lila nodded. "I'm afraid so. Our communications were intercepted. They know we're here." For a moment, silence filled the room. The gravity of the situation weighed heavily on everyone. This moon was humanity's last shelter, the place they had built after countless worlds fell to alien conquest. If this place was lost, humanity could vanish forever. Meanwhile, in the living quarters, young Myra Santos peered through the reinforced windows. She was only 12, but her eyes were sharp, curious, and fearless. She didn't understand all the politics or strategies, but she could feel the tension in the air. People were whispering more than usual. Soldiers moved with purpose, and her parents spent hours in meetings. Something big was coming. She hugged her little brother and whispered, "Stay close. Everything will be okay." In the training grounds, soldiers ran drills tirelessly. The sound of metal clashing, boots pounding on the floor, and the occasional shouted command filled the hall. They were preparing for something unimaginable, but no one knew exactly what to expect. The commander knew that brute strength alone would not be enough. Humanity had survived so far because of cunning, creativity, and stubborn courage. As night fell, the sanctuary lights flickered like distant stars. The inhabitants tried to maintain normal routines. Children played games, scientists completed experiments, and food halls bustled with chatter. But every once in a while, the alarms would echo, softly a reminder that peace was fragile. On the edge of the moon, hidden radar stations hummed with activity. Sensors picked up faint blips in the darkness. Not yet large fleets, just small probes. But even these tiny intruders sent chills through the security officers monitoring them. The alien presence was coming closer. Elias stood again at the observation deck, watching the black horizon. He remembered Earth, his homeworld, now a distant memory. Once people had thought Earth would be safe forever. Now, he knew that survival required constant vigilance. "If they come here," he whispered, "they will find more than they expect." Deep underground, in the secret war room, Lila activated a series of defense protocols. Holograms showed shield lines, energy barriers, and weapon stations. Humans had designed some of the most advanced defensive technology in the galaxy. But even with these advantages, fear lingered. No one could predict the alien strategy. Suddenly, a low rumble echoed through the moon. It wasn't an attack, it was something else. Sensors had detected a large object approaching, moving silently but fast. The room fell silent as everyone watched the display. It wasn't an enemy ship, at least not yet. But the unknown always brings fear. Myra, in her small room, felt her heart race. She didn't know why, but something told her that life was about to change forever. She peeked outside and saw a faint light flicker in the distance. A strange glow, almost like a star, moving closer. Her mother, noticing her anxiety, held her hand tightly. "We're safe," she whispered, though her own voice shook slightly. Back in the command center, Elias convened an emergency meeting. Generals, scientists, and security chiefs crowded the table. Reports say probes are increasing in number, said Captain Rel, his voice grim. They're mapping our defenses. Leela leaned forward. They're cautious, but intelligent. This is not a simple raid. They know something about us, something they fear. Elias clenched his fists. Then we will make them regret it. Hours passed, but the night did not bring relief. The inhabitants slept lightly, hearts pounding, dreams filled with shadows of ships and explosions. Every small noise, the hum of a generator, the echo of footsteps, felt amplified. No one knew when the first strike would come. Outside, the stars glimmered, as if watching silently. The calm before the storm stretched endlessly, tense and fragile. But in this quiet, humanity's courage burned quietly, waiting. Waiting for the moment when survival would demand everything in one of the upper towers. Lila looked out over the city and whispered to herself, "Whatever comes, we will fight. We have to. This is our last home." And then, in the dark reaches of space, a shadow moved. Silent, massive, unknown. The calm was ending. The storm was coming, the moon was quiet, too quiet. For days, the humans had felt the tension in the air. Nothing could have prepared them for what came next. It started with a soft vibration beneath the feet of the inhabitants. At first, people thought it was a minor quake or a malfunction in the systems. But the alarms began to wail, high and urgent, echoing through every corridor of the sanctuary. Red lights flashed, bathing the towers and streets in an ominous glow. Commander Elias Corr raced to the observation deck. His eyes widened as the sensors displayed what no one wanted to see: hundreds of alien ships in orbit, sleek, dark, and enormous, blocking out the stars. Their engines glowed like cold fire. The aliens had arrived. "They're here," Elias said, his voice tight. "And they're not waiting." Inside the central hub, Dr. Leela Morin's hands flew across the holographic controls. "They're targeting our communication arrays first. They don't want us to call for help or even talk to each other." She glanced at the map as bright red dots began exploding across the grid. "They're efficient and ruthless." Outside, the first salvo hit. A blinding flash of energy tore through the upper towers. Windows shattered, metal bent, and alarms screamed. People screamed. Mira, clutching her brother, fell to the floor as debris rained around them. "Stay down. Stay down," she yelled, her small voice trembling but strong. Soldiers poured into the streets, weapons ready. Shouts and orders clashed with the sounds of explosions. Commander Elias took charge, coordinating defenses even as buildings collapsed around him. "Protect the civilians. Hold the outer walls. Don't let them reach the core." The aliens moved with terrifying precision. Drones and warships descended like predators, cutting through shields and defenses. Humans fired back with laser cannons, plasma rifles, and energy turrets, but their technology, advanced as it was, seemed almost trivial against the alien onslaught in the underground bunkers. Scientists worked feverishly to reroute energy to critical systems. "We have to protect the power grid," shouted Lila. "If the sanctuary loses energy, it's over." Sparks flew as the systems overloaded, and alarms screamed louder than ever. Meanwhile, Mira and her brother crawled through the chaos. They followed a group of soldiers who were trying to escort civilians to safety. Mira could see friends and neighbors trapped under falling debris, and she felt a surge of fear she had never known. But somewhere deep inside, a spark of determination grew. Humanity would not give up without a fight. Above, Commander Elias saw one of the alien command ships break through the outer defenses. Its energy beams cut through buildings like a blade, destroying everything in their path. "Focus on that ship," he shouted to the pilots. "Take it down before it reaches the core." The sanctuary shook violently as more explosions rocked the city. Humans fought desperately, using every trick, every hidden weapon, every bit of courage they had. Small squads carried out daring attacks, sneaking behind alien lines and sabotaging ships. For a moment, it seemed like the humans might hold them off. But then, disaster struck. One of the main energy towers exploded, sending a shockwave across the city. Shields flickered and failed, and entire sections of the sanctuary were left exposed. Civilians screamed, running blindly through the chaos. Mira clutched her brother tighter, tears streaming down her face. We have to survive. We can't let them win. In the control room, Leela and Elias watched helplessly as more parts of the sanctuary were obliterated. We're losing them faster than we can fight back, Lila said, her voice tight with tension. The shelter. It's breaking apart. Elias's jaw tightened. Then we survive. We fight. We find the ones who made it. Humanity does not end here. Outside, the alien ships hovered, scanning the destruction. They were ruthless, calculating, and unlike anything humans had faced before. But even in this devastation, small victories appeared. A group of human fighters destroyed an alien drone carrier, sending it spiraling into the void. Cheers echoed briefly before the horror returned. As night fell, the sanctuary was no longer a home. Fires raged in multiple districts, energy shields flickered weakly, and the sky above was filled with alien lights, lasers, and explosions. Human soldiers regrouped, leading survivors to underground tunnels and hidden chambers. Commander Elias, standing atop a crumbled tower, watched the chaos with grim determination. Mira, finally safe in a small underground bunker, looked at the faces around her. Fear was everywhere, but so was courage. The children, the elders, the soldiers, even the scientists, they were all alive. For now, and in their hearts burned a single thought: humanity would not be destroyed without a fight. In the depths of space, the alien command fleet paused. They observed the humans' resilience with curiosity and irritation. These creatures, they realized, were not simple prey. They were dangerous, unpredictable, and defiant. Back on the moon, Commander Elias addressed the survivors over a secure channel. We've lost our shelters, our towers, our streets, but not our will. Gather yourselves. Find your brothers and sisters. Tonight we survive. Tomorrow we fight back. The survivors nodded, fear still heavy, but determination heavier. Humanity had faced extinction before, but never like this. Never from an enemy so vast, so advanced, so merciless. And somewhere in the darkness, beyond the edge of the moon, the aliens prepared for the next strike. Humanity's defiance had been noted. The real war was just beginning. The moon was silent now, but it was a quiet born from devastation. Smoke rose from shattered towers, and fires burned in pockets across the sanctuary. The first strike had left the city in ruins. Streets were littered with debris, fallen energy panels, and twisted metal. Yet amid the wreckage, humanity's spirit refused to die. Commander Elias Kor walked through the streets, surveying the damage. His uniform was scorched in places, and his hands were covered in ash, but his eyes burned with determination. Check every survivor, he ordered. We can rebuild. We will fight back. In underground bunkers. Humans had gathered soldiers, scientists, engineers, and families. Dr. Leela Moran worked frantically, coordinating communications and scanning for any remaining power sources. We've lost nearly half of our energy grids, she reported, but some of the old systems survived. We can still reroute them. Young Mira Santos huddled with her brother in a corner of the bunker. The fire outside lit her face with orange and red shadows. Fear was still strong in her heart, but she remembered her mother's words. We fight to survive, always, even in the midst of despair. That thought gave her courage. Meanwhile, Commander Elias gathered a team of soldiers in a secure hall. The aliens think they've won, he said, pointing to the large holographic map of the sanctuary. They don't know what we are capable of. We survived their first strike. That means we can fight back. Dr. Lila joined him. There's something else. During the evacuation, we recovered some old tech in the outer bunkers hidden for centuries. Weapons and systems the aliens never knew existed. If we can use them wisely, we might have a chance. Elise's eyes narrowed. Then we'll make them regret underestimating us. Outside, scavenger squads of humans moved carefully through the ruins. They collected energy cells, salvaged weapons, and rescued trapped civilians. Each small success boosted morale. Even in destruction, humans found a way to survive. Every rescued person, every repaired system, was a spark against the darkness in one hidden laboratory. Lila discovered a weapon prototype, a device designed to manipulate gravity, capable of disabling enemy ships without harming civilians. Her heart raced. If we can activate this, we could level the battlefield. The aliens won't expect it. But activating it was dangerous. The device required precision, and any mistake could destroy the sanctuary entirely. Tension filled the room as engineers and scientists worked side by side, sweat dripping from their brows. Every beep, every spark could be the difference between life and death. Meanwhile, Elias led a small team to inspect the outer defenses. They found alien drones patrolling the perimeter, scanning for survivors. A firefight erupted, sharp and sudden. Blasters fired, shields flared, and the sound of energy impacts echoed across the ruins. Humans fought bravely, using guerrilla tactics, and managed to destroy several drones. But more were coming. Back in the bunker, Mira watched the older humans plan the counterattack. Soldiers trained others quickly, teaching them basic combat skills. Civilians were armed with energy rifles and shields. It was not perfect, but it was enough to give them hope. Lila and Elias discussed their plan. "We strike at night," Elias said. "Using the old tunnels and hidden routes, we can ambush them. We may be fewer in number, but they won't expect a coordinated counterattack." "Yes," Lila replied. "We turn our weakness into strength. They think they've crushed us, but we're still here, and we'll show them what humanity can do." The night arrived, and the survivors moved carefully through the shadows. Every step was silent, every movement calculated. The moon's surface, scarred and burning from the first strike, became the stage for humanity's rising defiance. As they approached an alien forward base, Mira stayed close to the soldiers. Her heart pounded, and every small noise made her jump. But she did not run. She would face this because she had to. Humanity had to survive. In the distance, alien lights glowed faintly, moving in patterns that suggested they were still unaware of the humans' plans. Commander Elias signaled his team to halt. "Wait for the signal," he whispered. "Patience is our ally." Lila activated the gravity weapon remotely. A faint hum filled the air, and the ground beneath the alien drones shifted subtly. They wobbled, alarmed by the invisible force affecting their ships. With precise timing, humans struck from multiple angles. Blaster fire, grenades, and sudden ambushes decimated the drones. For the first time, the aliens felt resistance, not random chaos, but organized, deadly, and intelligent. The counterattack continued. Human squads pushed forward, reclaiming small areas of the sanctuary. Every step, every victory, inspired hope. Survivors cheered quietly, clinging to the thought that perhaps, just perhaps, it could turn the tide. But even as they celebrated, a shadow loomed. From orbit, a massive alien warship appeared, larger than any they had seen. Its engines glowed with a deep red light, and it hovered like a predator, waiting to strike. Humans froze as its presence was felt even from the ground. The battles they had fought were only the beginning. "Commander." Elias looked at his team and then at the small group of civilians nearby. "We've survived the first strike," he said, voice steady but firm. "We've shown them that we are not weak. But the real fight is just beginning. We rise from the ashes tonight, but tomorrow we strike harder." Mira clutched her brother tightly, looking at the massive ship above. Fear was there, yes, but so was courage. Humanity was still alive. Humanity would fight back, and humanity would rise. The night was alive with tension. Humanity had survived the first alien attack and had even begun to fight back. But Commander Elias Corr knew the danger had only just begun. The alien fleet above loomed like a storm cloud, silent but deadly. Humanity's survival depended on speed, intelligence, and courage. In the underground command center, Leela Moran activated the tactical map. Tiny icons representing humans moved cautiously through the shadows of the ruined city, while the larger alien ships hovered in orbit. "We need a surprise strike," she said. "They think we are weak. They think we are hiding. Let's prove them wrong," Elias nodded. "Tonight, we hit their forward station. We hit it hard, and we show them that humans are not prey. Ready your squads?" Outside, the humans moved like shadows. Soldiers led the civilians to safe positions, while the strike teams prepared for the ambush. They carried salvaged weapons, energy rifles, and grenades, but their most powerful advantage was strategy. The aliens were strong, but humans were clever. The first target was an alien communication outpost. It controlled the drones that had been patrolling the moon's surface. If the humans destroyed it, they could reduce the alien control and open a window for a larger counterattack. Elias and a small squad climbed to the top of a crumbling tower. They crouched behind shattered walls, observing the alien guards below. The drones scanned mechanically, unaware of the humans' precise movements. One by one, humans advanced, silently taking down sentries with quick, calculated shots. Inside the outpost, Lila guided the team remotely. "Plant the charges on the main console," she instructed. "We only have a few minutes before reinforcements arrive." Sweat dripped down the faces of the soldiers as they worked quickly. Every second was crucial. Suddenly, one alien drone noticed movement. Its sensors flashed red, and alarms blared inside the outpost. The humans froze. Then, with perfect timing, they fired. Blaster bolts struck the drone's core, sending sparks flying. Others in the squad pressed forward, moving with precision and skill. The charges were set. Lila gave the signal, and a deep rumble shook the ground. The outpost erupted in a controlled explosion. The sky lit up as alien drones fell from orbit, their signals cut. For the first time, humans had gained the upper hand. However small, from orbit, the alien command ship detected the explosion. Sensors searched for the cause. Its commander, a cold and calculating mind, realized that these humans were not simple prey. They were resilient, cunning, and dangerous. "They strike like predators," the alien leader hissed. "Prepare countermeasures. Destroy them all." But the humans didn't wait. Using hidden tunnels and ruined streets, they launched a series of quick strikes across the moon. Small teams sabotaged supply depots, disrupted energy lines, and rescued trapped civilians. Every successful mission was a morale boost. Word of their victories spread quickly among the survivors. Elias led a daring attack on one of the alien landing zones. Using salvaged hover vehicles, the humans sped across the broken landscape, dodging energy beams and debris. Soldiers leaped from vehicle to vehicle, firing, disabling drones, and creating chaos among the aliens. For the first time, aliens faced organized human resistance that matched their speed and tactics. Lila watched the operations from the control hub. She activated the prototype gravity device again. Alien ships wobbled in midair as their engines struggled to maintain control. It was a small advantage, but in war, even small advantages could save lives and change the course of battle. The humans regrouped after each strike. They shared supplies, repaired equipment, and planned the next moves. Exhaustion weighed heavily, but determination burned brighter. These were ordinary humans, yes, but they were clever, brave, and unyielding. The aliens would learn this soon. Meanwhile, Mira watched from a safe bunker, her eyes wide with wonder and fear. Soldiers returned from missions, their faces tired but proud. She realized something powerful. Humanity was not just surviving. Humanity was fighting back. And in every small victory, hope grew. But as the humans celebrated their small victories, sensors picked up something massive approaching from the far side of the moon. A fleet of alien reinforcements, larger and more deadly than before, moved silently through the void. Elias clenched his fists. "They're coming," he said. "And this time, they won't hold back. But neither will we." The humans prepared for the next wave. Civilians reinforced shelters, soldiers checked weapons, and engineers patched energy shields. Every human knew the truth. The first strike had shown them they could fight. The next battle would determine survival or annihilation. Above the moon, alien ships loomed like predators. Below, humans moved with purpose and courage. Two forces, strong and unyielding, were about to collide. And somewhere in the darkness, Myra whispered to her brother, gripping his hand tightly, "We are humans. We survive. We fight. Always." The sanctuary had survived the first strikes. Humans had fought back, winning small victories against the alien forces. But even in the quiet moments between battles, danger lurked, not only from outside but from within. Commander Elias Corr walked through the underground bunkers, checking on the survivors. The corridors were dimly lit, and the air smelled of smoke and burned metal. Soldiers carried supplies, while civilians whispered in fear and hope. Humanity had shown courage, but Elias knew the price of betrayal could be higher than any alien attack. Dr. Lila. Moran was reviewing the security logs when she noticed something strange. Certain access points had been used without authorization. "Elias," she said, her voice tense, "someone has been entering restricted areas. Someone is giving information to the aliens." Elias's face hardened. "A traitor?" "Yes," Lila confirmed. "And it looks like they've been active for days, even during our strikes. They know our moves before we act." The news spread quickly, and a heavy silence fell over the survivors. Trust, the most valuable weapon of all, had been broken. Every glance, every conversation, every plan now carried doubt. Who could be trusted? Meanwhile, outside on the ruins of the city, squads of humans moved cautiously, rescuing civilians and reclaiming energy cells. Mira and her brother followed a group of soldiers through a shattered plaza. The city had become a maze of rubble and fire where every corner could hide danger. Suddenly, the alarms screamed. Alien drones appeared faster than expected. They attacked with precision, as if they already knew where humans would be. Soldiers fought bravely, but the drones were relentless. Humans fell, and chaos erupted in the narrow streets. Commander Elias watched from a high vantage point. The attack was no ordinary counterstrike. It was coordinated with knowledge only an insider could have provided. His jaw tightened. "The traitor has exposed us," he muttered. "We must contain this before it destroys everything." Inside the command hub, Leela worked frantically to identify the source. Holographic images flickered on the screen, showing the culprit, a former officer who had been trusted with critical information. Shock and anger rippled through the team. How could someone betray the last remnants of humanity? The traitor, aware of being discovered, activated a communication beacon. Sending coordinates of the humans' hidden tunnels and safe zones to the alien fleet, within minutes, enemy ships appeared, cutting off escape routes and surrounding the survivors. Elias barked orders. "Fall back. Regroup in Sector Delta. Protect the civilians at all costs." Soldiers moved with urgency, dragging injured companions and shouting warnings. Mira clutched her brother, running through the smoke-filled corridors, dodging falling debris and alien fire. Fear was everywhere, but so was determination. Humans would survive even if the cost was high. Despite their courage, losses mounted. Soldiers who had fought bravely were struck down. Shelters that had just begun to recover were destroyed. Lila's prototype gravity weapon malfunctioned under pressure, leaving critical systems exposed. The sanctuary, which had once been a safe haven, now felt fragile and vulnerable. In the chaos, Elias confronted the traitor. Words were unnecessary. The betrayal was clear, the consequences deadly. The traitor tried to escape, but the soldiers intercepted him. It was a painful confrontation, one that reminded everyone that survival required vigilance not only against enemies outside, but dangers within. As the dust settled, the survivors gathered in temporary shelters. Loss weighed heavily on them. They had fought bravely, but the cost was staggering. Buildings lay in ruins, soldiers were missing or injured, and the alien fleet remained a constant threat above. Even victories now felt hollow. Mira, sitting beside her brother, looked at the weary faces around her. Adults whispered prayers. Children clung to parents, and soldiers cleaned their weapons silently. Despite the fear and grief, a spark of resilience remained. Humanity had been betrayed, but humanity had also survived. Commander Elias addressed the group. His voice was calm, firm, and filled with determination. "We have suffered betrayal and loss, but this is not the end. Every human here is part of the fight. We rebuild, we adapt, and we strike back. The aliens may know some of our secrets, but they do not know our courage, our resourcefulness, or our will to survive." Lila joined him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "We have lost much," she said softly, "but we still have hope, and hope is stronger than any weapon they have." Outside, alien ships hovered, scanning the ruined sanctuary for survivors. They were ruthless, powerful, and patient. But humanity's defiance had been witnessed. The aliens would realize soon enough that humans were not ordinary. They were unpredictable, intelligent, and fearless when cornered. Mira whispered to her brother again, gripping his hand tightly. "They tried to break us," she said. "They tried to make us afraid. But we are humans. We survive, we fight, and we never give up." The night ended with a quiet determination among the survivors. They were battered, bruised, and grieving, but they were still alive. And from the ashes of betrayal and loss, a new plan began to form. Humanity's first strikes had failed to end the war, but they had proven one thing: humans would never surrender. The galaxy, watching silently from above, had seen humanity's spirit, and it was something even the aliens would come to fear. The sanctuary lay in ruins, a shadow of its former self. Fires still burned, smoke curled into the dark sky, and debris littered the streets. Humans had survived betrayal, loss, devastation, but the alien fleet above reminded them that the real challenge was far from over. Commander Elias Corr stood atop a damaged tower, surveying the scene. His eyes scanned the horizon, taking in the ruined city and the alien ships in orbit. "We don't have much time," he said grimly. "If we wait too long, the aliens will finish what they started." Inside the command hub, Dr. Leela Moran worked furiously at the tactical console. "We have one chance," she said. "A small window to strike directly at their main command ship. If we succeed, we could cripple their fleet and level the battlefield. But it's risky. More dangerous than anything we've faced so far." Elias clenched his fists. "Then we take the risk. Humanity doesn't back down when cornered. We fight, no matter the cost." The survivors gathered in hidden tunnels, making last-minute preparations. Soldiers checked weapons, engineers reinforced vehicles, and civilians carried supplies. Fear was thick, but determination burned brighter. Every human knew the stakes. Failure meant death. Success meant survival. The plan was daring. A small strike team would use the hidden tunnels and underground passages to reach the alien command ship's landing zone. Using the prototype gravity weapon and guerrilla tactics, they would infiltrate, disable the defenses, and deliver a decisive blow. Every second counted. Mira and her brother were escorted to a safe bunker by soldiers. The children clutched each other tightly, fear and hope mingling in their hearts. "We'll be safe," Mira whispered, though her own voice trembled. She had learned courage in the fires of destruction. Humanity's survival depended on everyone's soldiers, scientists, and even the youngest. As night fell, the strike team moved through the shadows. Every step was careful, every movement silent. Alien patrols roamed the streets, but the humans used the ruined buildings, smoke, and darkness to their advantage. They moved like ghosts, striking quickly, disappearing before the enemy could respond. The first encounter came swiftly. Alien drones guarding a strategic entry point detected the humans. Blaster fire lit the streets as humans returned fire, dodging and weaving through the wreckage. Soldiers used grappling hooks, energy shields, and clever traps to take down multiple drones. Each victory brought them closer to the command ship. Meanwhile, Leela remotely activated the gravity device. Alien ships wobbled in orbit, their engines struggling against the invisible force. The humans on the ground pushed forward, using the advantage to infiltrate deeper into the alien perimeter, Finally, they reached the command ship's landing zone. It was massive, more intimidating than anything they had seen before. But humanity's determination did not falter. Soldiers moved with precision, planting charges on critical systems, while engineers hacked alien controls to create chaos inside the ship. The alien commander noticed the intrusion and deployed elite guards. The humans fought fiercely, every strike calculated, every movement deadly. For a moment, it seemed as though the assault might fail. Then, a coordinated detonation of the charges disabled the ship's primary systems, sending alarms screaming across the alien fleet. From orbit, alien reinforcements scrambled. But the humans were already retreating through the tunnels, disappearing into the shadows. The command ship, crippled, could no longer coordinate its fleet efficiently. Humanity's gamble had worked, but it came at a cost. Many soldiers had fallen, and some civilians had been injured. The survivors regrouped in the hidden bunkers, exhausted but alive. Lila checked the damage reports. "We've hit them hard," she said, relief in her voice. "But the alien fleet will respond. They won't forget this strike." Elias addressed the survivors, his voice echoing through the bunkers. "Tonight, we gambled everything. We risked our lives against impossible odds, and we won. Humanity has shown the galaxy that we are not weak, not ordinary, and not afraid. But the war is far from over. The aliens will retaliate. And when they do, we will be ready." Outside, the alien fleet reorganized. Red lights glowed in the darkness of space, signaling warnings and commands. The humans had struck a blow, but the war had only escalated. Humanity's defiance had been noticed and feared. In the quiet moments, Mira looked at her brother and whispered, "We did it. We fought back. And we're still here." Elias stared at the dark horizon. The gamble had worked, but the stakes had never been higher. The aliens would not underestimate humanity again. The next battle would be even more brutal, but humanity had learned a critical truth: courage, intelligence, and unity could turn the tide against even the strongest enemy. And so, from the ruins of betrayal, loss, and destruction, humanity prepared for the ultimate test. Their last gamble had succeeded, but the galaxy had yet to see the full power of human resilience. The sky above the moon was alive with alien lights. Red, white, and blue energy beams streaked across the darkness as ships clashed, weaving a deadly dance. Humanity had struck back, crippling the alien command ship in a daring gamble. The fleet above remained massive and threatening. This was no longer a fight for survival. It was a war for the galaxy itself. "Commander." Elias Kor stood on a ridge overlooking the survivors. He saw the rebuilt barricades, the repaired energy shields, and the determined faces of humans who had survived betrayal, loss, and devastation. "We've proven that we are not weak," he said to Lila Moran beside him. "Now it's time to show the universe what humans can do." Lila nodded, eyes shining with determination. "The aliens are reorganizing their fleet. They'll come back stronger, but we have allies we didn't before. Other species have noticed our resistance. Some are ready to join us." The humans moved swiftly. Messages went out through hidden channels, calling for help from distant colonies and species who had also suffered under alien oppression. Within hours, the first Allied ships arrived, small, fast, and armed with new technologies. The aliens did not anticipate this. Myra, standing among the survivors with her brother, watched the ships approach. Her heart raced. She had seen destruction and death, but she had also seen courage, intelligence, and hope. Humans were no longer just survivors. They were leaders in a growing galactic resistance. Commander Elias addressed his troops over the coms. "Tonight we fight not just for this moon, not just for Earth, but for all who cannot defend themselves. The aliens underestimated us once. They will not make that mistake again." The humans launched coordinated attacks against the alien fleet. Using guerrilla tactics, the gravity weapon, and precise strikes, they disabled warships and scattered patrols. The aliens were powerful, but they were slow to adapt to humans' creativity and speed. Every strike from humanity inspired allied species to join. Swelling the forces against the invaders in the middle of battle, Mira saw a squad of soldiers rescue alien prisoners beings who had been enslaved by the oppressive fleet. Some joined humanity's cause immediately, providing vital intelligence and inside knowledge. Elias realized that the fight was no longer just human, it was universal. Above the moon, the alien command ship's replacement arrived, larger and more menacing than before. Its massive hull reflected the fires below, and energy weapons charged with a low hum. But the humans were ready. Every lesson from past battles was applied. Every strategy, every sacrifice, every small victory prepared them for this moment. Leela activated the gravity weapon for the final strike. Ships wobbled, engines failed, and the aliens lost coordination. Human and allied ships surged forward, striking with precision and overwhelming force. Explosions lit the darkness like stars dying in fire. Despite the intensity, humanity's resolve never wavered. Soldiers fought bravely, civilians contributed in support roles, and engineers repaired damage in the heat of battle. Humans had become more than survivors. They had become warriors, leaders, and symbols of resistance across the galaxy. Finally, the alien command ship was crippled. Its fleet scattered, and its leaders forced to retreat. Silence fell across the battlefield for a brief moment, as if the galaxy itself had paused to witness the outcome. Humans, battered but victorious, cheered. The survivors embraced, cried, and smiled, proof that courage, unity, and determination could defy even the greatest odds. Commander Elias raised his voice. We fought when it seemed impossible. We rose when all hope seemed lost. Humanity has survived, and now the galaxy knows we are not to be underestimated. Mira looked up at the stars, her eyes reflecting the fires and lights of the battle. She whispered to her brother, "They thought we were weak. They thought we would fall. But we are humans, and we always rise." In the aftermath, as humans rebuilt their moon sanctuary and strengthened their alliances across the galaxy, a message spread among the alien races. Never again underestimate humanity, their cunning, resilience, and courage had sparked a new era, galactic war that would change the balance of power forever. The camera of imagination pans across the moon, the stars and distant galaxies. Humanity had survived annihilation, risen from ashes, and ignited a war that would echo across the universe. The story of courage, unity, and defiance had begun, a story that would inspire countless worlds to stand against oppression.